Angeles or Chicago by train to the Mardi Gras.
Oh, yeah.
And we
You
played
guys
in the
play?
club bar. Hey, David.
Hey, Barry. Hey, Tom.
So, but they gave us sleepers and all that, so that worked out pretty good. You know,
Oh,
coming
nice.
from Los Angeles to New Orleans or Chicago to New Orleans.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, it was. It was.
So, hey, Dave, how you doing?
Doing all right. Can't complain.
We didn't get
Make
through
it back
Asheville.
you make it back home? You look like you're at home.
Yeah, we made it home. We didn't get through Asheville, or I would have called you. You know, her sister.
Yeah, I trust you would have.
Her sister got locked up again. You know how the old folks' homes are locking up because of all the COVID stuff. So there was no reason to go by and see her.
Yeah, understandably. Understandable. So
what's up with you?
You made it. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, what's up with you? How you doing?
Good. We've managed the last couple weeks to take little road trips. We went to Boone, North Carolina yesterday, and so that was fun. Yeah, we're trying to do a little bit more of that. Enjoy the territory before we get it much older.
Yeah, you can't stop that.
No, can't. But
I was impressed by New Mexico when we drove through it. I'd love to spend some time in New Mexico.
I was only there twice in my life. Once as a a very young kid, and then not long after I worked for the Mustache. I worked as a fundraiser with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and had a convention to go to in Albuquerque, and was impressed both times as a kid and then again as an adult. So yeah.
Yeah, because
you know, I missed you guys last week, but I did watch the replay.
Yeah, you were, like I told you, you were missed too.
Power and out of internet. So.
And you know what? Starting next week for the next few weeks, I'm gonna be late on this call because I've got something that's gonna be 3 to 4 every Friday for a few weeks, so I'll be late. You know, just a little bit late.
Well, 4 is the time it's really supposed to start.
Right.
We started doing this early thing was so we could get the New Orleans people because, you know, like Billy's not coming today because he has a job, and Rick and all them, you know, we're not musicians, so we don't have as much to contribute. But
right.
Has anybody heard from Rick? Because I was worried about him because I know the hurricane hit pretty bad up by where he was.
Well, I had heard from him last week, and they had done fine.
And he's participating on Facebook. I see that. You know, I didn't talk to him personally, but I see him posting stuff.
Okay, good. Yeah, I've been bad. I haven't been on Facebook in a long time.
You're not missing anything.
Well, that's what I think. Yeah. I don't like to put bumper stickers on my car and say what I like, much less posting it on Facebook. I kind of just trying to get business.
The thing I put likes on is if I got a real close friend that makes a cute comment or something like that, I'll press like for that. Or cars from 1946 to 49. Anytime they show a car from the late post-war cars, I like those. I'll put like on that. So nobody really knows my taste except for the
car. Well, not the whole car, but the front end of a 49 Ford with that bullet.
Isn't it beautiful?
Oh my God, they are.
Yeah. I think they started making them back in, it wasn't until 46 or 47. In other words, they took a few years off because of war.
Yeah.
You know, 42 to 45, I think they took off, and then 46 to 47, they started up again. So those ones from 47 to 49 or 46 to 49, right after the war, I think they had time to think about it, you know.
I remember being like 5 years old, and my dad was in this baseball league, and we would go on Sunday to watch him. And this one lady, this older lady, had one of those. And I
Yeah.
just remember looking at that as a little kid, thinking, "Wow, that is so cool."
Yeah. They're
But,
beautiful.
yeah,
If I had the space, if I didn't have to give up my garage,
uh,
I would get a car, something like that, buy a late 40s car and have it.
yeah.
But I don't want to buy something like that and keep it outside.
No, that's true.
You know, that would be a shame. So I guess I'll never get a car like that. But I'd love to have one. I really would, just to tool around in it.
Well, you could. I mean, David's got 10 acres and a 15-car garage and stuff. You can put it up there. Don't you have a state?
I was glad that we ended up with a single car garage, at least. I didn't want to be without a garage.
I'd like to have a single-car garage too. I don't have any, but
Well, I've got a garage, but it has become
I
my
know.
room.
It's your music room.
it's your music.
Yeah, the music room.
Yeah.
But I'm in it all the time. I spend more time in the garage than in the den or the bedroom. Believe me.
No, I got you because I have a basement.
Yeah.
I call it the lower atrium. And when we got back from California, Emily said, "I bet you're glad to have the basement back." I go, because I didn't want to admit, that I was, but I am.
Yeah, I love it because I don't have to keep it clean.
Right.
You know,
Right.
if there's dust around, it doesn't matter. I can smoke my cigar out there. The sports show I want to put on the TV gets put on. So
Yep.
I mean, it's heaven. That's heaven. But nobody else wants to come out there anyway. I got a little air conditioning when it gets hot. It's perfect. A space heater when it's cold.
What more could you ask? Do you have a refrigerator out there?
I don't have a refrigerator, but I do have a laptop out there that stays out there. So I got a computer,
Yeah,
So it's perfect, and
I agree.
sometimes I would sit inside, but I got used to coming sitting in the dining room for this meeting. I don't know why all my other Zoom meetings are either in the garage or out on the back porch. But for this one, for some reason, I come into the dining room.
Maybe because Dottie was with you for a long time.
I think so.
Yeah.
She went shopping today, so she probably won't make it back for this. But I think that's it. She
Yeah.
was sitting right next to me right here. So this
I
is
like the background. But you would have a good background in the garage too, right? You've got
Well,
the
it's
stuff
kind
on
of
the wall.
darker in there. It's darker there, and here we got the big lights, and
Mhm.
I always sit here so you can see the Carnegie
Yeah.
Tom Wolfe masterpiece up there and the Carnegie poster.
I still feel really bad that they just didn't let me bring in a decent camera and
I know. I heard you last week when I watched the tape. You addressed that.
That was something with there was something going on there because I've worked in theaters all over the world, and it's up to whoever rents the theater. They can do what they want.
Right. I
But
think
doesn't the idea of royalties for the music sometimes come into play? Or wait a minute, none of the stuff that
That wasn't anything.
Mustache plays is got royalties.
That wasn't. That would have been if we'd have videotaped it, but still photos.
Oh, okay.
I could have sat in the back of that hall with a nice long lens, and because what I did was I brought this little camera that had a pretty powerful lens on it, but it was really small, and I kept it in my coat. And I took a lot of pictures of the New Orleans people, and then I started taking pictures of other people, but I kept hiding it so that they wouldn't take it away or stop me because I wanted to get the New Orleans stuff. So then Mike was texting me like, "Hey, I saw how many pictures of the other people do you have?" And I sent everything I had, but I didn't have nearly the coverage I had in New Orleans because I was trying to cover the area and stuff. And the camera turned out pretty good. It looked pretty good. But I was
great.
putting it back.
That behind me, one made my wall in the dining room.
Yeah. No, I love having my pictures in people's houses. That is so cool.
Well, I'm looking up above the desk that I'm at, And there's a picture that you took of me holding Eric upside down when he was
Oh, really?
5 years old.
Oh, that's cool. Bet you couldn't hold him upside down now.
No, not quite.
Yeah.
Hey, yay.
Because Rick, we were just talking about you.
Uh-oh.
Well, we were
Sorry
hoping
about
you were okay.
It's all lies.
Anything.
Huh? What?
You did all right with the storm, Rick?
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, last Friday I was, we spent Friday and Saturday too down at my stepdaughter's house in Waveland, helping clean up the mess and everything. She's only a half block off the beach, but yeah, it was okay. You know, just a lot of work.
Yeah, I hauled limbs out of my backyard for an hour.
Yeah,
Maybe more than an hour.
yeah, I cleaned up my yards Thursday, I guess it was, and then Friday and Saturday we were busy down there on the coast. It wasn't bad, you know, just a little bit of roof damage, nothing major and stuff like that. But we had a lot of limbs and trees to take care of all that. So I'd rather have been here, but we were down there. Anybody else have any problem with? You're okay, huh, Tom?
Oh, yeah, we're fine. My brother-in-law, not this hurricane, but the one before, he had a tree go like right down the middle of his house.
Really?
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
it's a mess. And he's worried that he lives in Bastrop, which is up by Monroe. And he had his entire house, 3-bedroom and all this stuff
Oh, no.
for $150,000, which he's kind of worried that is that going to be enough? But I think it is because everything up there will be a lot cheaper.
Tree went down right through it?
Oh, just right through. It took the fireplace, crunched all that. And that's good because they're just taking all that
There
out.
he is. That sounds like what happened to us during Katrina, right in the middle of the house. Took out everything.
Yeah.
But,
And then he woke up and there's it wasn't the trunk, but it was a bunch of branches had come through his ceiling.
oh, Jesus.
Oh, shit, we better get out of here.
Y'all were okay, Barry? Y'all didn't have any problems? Or
I did with power out, that's it.
we didn't have power. Didn't even lose TV.
Oh, yeah,
Couldn't
we
believe
lost
it.
power, TV, and Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That's
My daughter and stepdaughter and the one in Waveland, the other one lives in the Kill. They just got their power. This power back on yesterday. So
My guy.
I
yeah.
hate to
Did this come up your way, David?
The LTE.
No, it was supposed to have, 40-mile-an-hour winds or whatever. But, if we had 20-mile-an-hour winds, that would have been the most, and very little rain. So
Well, let me tell you what, they estimated in Metairie 120-mile-an-hour gusts.
Jesus.
And it was blowing here at my house, but the eye went right over Metairie.
Yeah, right over here too. I'm right about when the eye right before it was coming over and all that. I looked across the street, couldn't even see across the street because the wind and rain was so heavy. It just I couldn't see across the street.
Yeah, for about a half an hour, it got calm, and I wouldn't say sunny, but clear.
And then it came the second time.
About a half hour, then it came again.
And of course, you realize what's going to come in the Gulf next week, huh?
Yeah, I saw that.
Another one. Of course, this is supposed to go over Cuba, and
They have it aiming to Florida now.
Yeah.
but then it's going to curve into the Gulf, and who knows? It's probably hit Florida, East Coast, the West Coast of Florida, maybe the Panhandle, but that was the last one. It wasn't supposed to even come in the Gulf, and look what it did. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I hate to admit it, but boy, when the internet goes out, that's a tough time. Deal without electricity. But if there's no internet, wow.
Yeah.
Well, the
You feel
internet
lost.
and on the phones, the LTE didn't work.
Yeah.
The only thing you do is make a call. You can make a call and send a direct text message, but LTE, that was gone, so you couldn't get on anything that was internet came from that. So it was tough. And that was for 3 days, man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Wow. Because I remember Katrina. Of course, my daughter, one of my daughters had just a little power on a phone. I reached my brother in Hawaii, of all people, to tell him to contact my dad up in Memphis and other people. Right up there, the phone went out. We didn't have it for weeks,
I think
It was nice.
I think the aftermath of Katrina is when 99% of people from in the New Orleans area learned how to text message. And I was one of them. I never received sent a text message before Katrina.
I never did it really until then,
It was on the old flip phones where it was real hard to text.
Oh, it was.
You know?
Yeah,
Texting is so funny because my youngest son, I'm thinking of like a letter. Hi, Nick, blah, 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 Dad. And he gives me these messages back. I know who it is. You don't have to sign it. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm just old.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I do that too. I still sign them.
Yeah.
Send a text message, then to the bottom put Barry or something.
That's
like
right.
that.
I still do that.
I do too.
I put Dad, and it feels really good when you write Dad. It's like, oh, cool. Can't do it with anybody else.
That you know of.
Well, except your girlfriend when you say, call me Dad.
That's
I'm in the kitchen now saying, wait, whoa.
Yeah. I hope this other one doesn't do anything. We can't take another. It's just the stress is just too much of these things.
Yeah.
I have these huge oaks overhanging around the front and overhanging the back of the house, which are going to be cut down in a few weeks. And I just knew they were going to come down, but nothing happened.
Well, my brother-in-law, there was a tree cut down up the street, and he went up and talked to the guy and said, hey, can you come down and see about cutting down my tree? And then the next night, the storm came through and put that tree through his house.
Oh, God. Man.
So, Rick, let me ask you something. Back in the mustache days, from what I remember, you were a bartender more than a waiter or a doorman.
Yeah, I started off as a waiter and became bartender. By the time it closed, I was basically tending bar. I was also one of the 2 assistant managers.
Right, but I remember you as a bartender most of the time.
Yeah.
Now, back before I was a banjo player, I was a waiter, but
Yeah, I remember.
I was a bartender like 3 or 4 nights. I didn't like it at all. I'd rather be out on the floor. So I did. That's what I chose. I maybe 3 or 4 times at the most.
I enjoyed the tending
Fred
bar.
was still around. Fred was the manager.
Yeah.
And Fred LaRue and all that. So you like bartending better?
I like that better. Yeah, Randy, Allie, and Bob Osborne kind of taught me about tending the bar. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I could ring the little bell and turn the lights off.
Yeah, I like being out on the floor.
And drink beer and eat peanuts for the sandwich.
With the people.
Yeah, I like that too. It was fun too. I mean, it was all fun.
Saturday night, you're tending bar, and some girl comes in that you like, and you're giving her free drinks. You're giving her free mixed drinks or something. So then you're
I would never have done that.
So then you're shorting somebody else's liquor to to make the weights right. And then there were some people that got screwdrivers that had nothing in them.
Just a little drop or something. Yeah.
You didn't hear that, David.
I actually came across a spreadsheet for the year. I didn't even look at what year it was. I haven't looked at it closely. I came across that, and I came across a contract that Fred had. Those of us that were in the melodrama, we had to sign a contract as actors. Those are some of the memorabilia that I came across.
At the Mustache?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. That was early, huh? Early, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fred was manager when I came there, and you and Bruce Wilson and LaRue were assistant managers.
Were we all there at one time? We might have
Yeah.
When I started, Dave wasn't around. David wasn't around.
Yeah, David was there when I came. Yeah.
David was there.
Me and Bill Blank. Bill and I started the same day.
What year y'all came in? What year you came in, Rick?
We were there for Mardi Gras 71. I guess it was early 71 or maybe late 70 something. I'm not sure. I don't remember
I got
exactly.
there in 70 also.
Yeah.
I got there in summer of 70.
Yeah.
He wasn't there that summer.
No, I wasn't there that summer.
No, David wasn't. And then when I came back the next summer of 71, David was the assistant manager.
Well, David, you were along with LaRue, you were assistant manager at the same time too, right? With LaRue?
Yeah, for a little while. I really can't remember real well the timing of it. And what amazes me is that I came back there after my operation where I've lost my voice. And I mean, I still And I don't understand that, how I managed to squeak through
Yeah.
amidst all the noise in there.
Oh, yeah. It was a fun place. Fun place.
Yeah, David.
I wonder if it,
started
I
with
wonder if one would be
Marble
successful today if it was still on Bourbon Street.
Yeah, yeah. Except we might still be there.
See, when I came in the summer of '70, Fred was the manager, and it was Bruce Wilson and LaRue were the assistant manager.
Well, I know I thought David was there. I remember Bruce and LaRue.
And yeah, Bruce Wilson and LaRue. And Bruce Wilson was like a visiting assistant manager.
Yeah, he was a visiting. I think because I moved down there to start law school at Tulane in September. So I guess it was September, October of '70 when I started.
Right.
But we were there for Mardi Gras '71. Me and
When
Bill
you see,
were.
I started in June of '70.
You're already there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
June of '70.
When
Who
did
all was there? Who all was? Tommy Barrios was there.
Right.
Gosh, I
Joe
can't think of-
Mullane.
Oh, Joe was there.
Don Stacy. Yeah.
Stacy, yeah. Edwin was there. Krebs, he was there then, wasn't he?
Probably. Bob Osborne.
Bob Osborne, Randy.
Randy. Eddie.
Yeah, Ed Alley, yeah. There was a Will Soto, was he wasn't there then at that time, no.
Paul Schrems. You remember him?
Who?
Paul Schrems.
I don't remember that.
I don't
The
know.
guy with a thick, long beard. He was like one of the original hippies.
Really long beard and long hair.
That's right.
He came, well, kind of reddish hair, reddish brown hair.
Yeah.
I think he worked there for a while. That he actually had graduated from law school and was going to join the Judge Advocate General Court when he left the mustache.
I remember
I think that's
one night where Fred needed to be out of town and LaRue and Bruce Wilson couldn't be there, so Paul was the manager that night. So he was a head waiter. He was a waiter, but they made him the manager for one night.
this was before I came.
Yeah.
Probably. Oh,
Probably.
this wasn't the same. This wasn't the same guy then, because I remember some guy came.
It might have been the same guy, Rick, because this guy was a real intelligent guy, but he was out there. He was so
Yeah.
intelligent, he was out there.
Oh, okay. Just like all of us, huh?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember you behind the bar most nights. And very rarely I remember seeing you out on the floor, Rick. You know?
Well, I did that. I enjoyed it and worked doors some. I did all of it some, but eventually, in fact, I even was janitor for about 4 or 5 months when who was the janitor? What was his name?
Oh, I know who you
Oh,
mean.
Herb.
He got sick. Yeah. Yeah,
You actually did the janitor, really?
I did. What was it? What was his
Lucian?
name? Lucian was sick for a while. It was a summer. I had time, and Fred said, "Hey, I'll do it, sure." So I worked all during the day there. It was really fun cleaning the ladies' room.
How you doing, Herb? Can you hear us?
Everything's
You're
good.
dark.
Herb?
Rocking and rolling.
Well, good.
Your picture's real dark.
I probably have a backlight, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't see you.
Backlight. And if I turn on the backlight, wait a minute, maybe I can, hang on a second.
Or like you're in witness protection.
I can't get the light right today either. I noticed that last week on the playback, it was like it was a golden tone or
Yeah,
something
that's
yellowish.
Give me as
Always a golden tone with you.
Like a halo around your head, Dave? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, this
That's
is
better.
today. I'll work on that for next week.
Yeah, it's
Hey.
hard to see you.
Anybody tired of the colors red and blue?
Yeah.
I think you're right about that.
Oh.
I never want to see a red vest again or a blue vest.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of waiting. I'm just hoping Biden wins so that it kind of calms
yeah.
down and nobody and we don't
I'm so
use everything.
I'm so excited at seeing lawyer commercials and car commercials. I don't know what to do. No more political commercials. You know?
Yeah, yeah. The ambulance chasing lawyers are coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought TV commercials were going away for politics, but didn't seem like it this time.
No, they didn't. Are there any runoffs in New Orleans, Barry?
I don't know. I try not to follow it.
Seemed like there was a DA runoff somewhere there. You might have some more ads for that for a while. It was one of those nasty runs. I don't know.
As I was telling Dottie at lunch today, I said every election season, I go to the History Channel.
I'm going to the old TV channel.
And just now I was watching American Restoration. You ever saw that when they
Yeah, I
restored?
do like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm watching Perry Mason.
I've been watching it.
Oh, wow.
Perry Mason.
I like the end when Della and Paul Drake and Perry sit down to figure out exactly what happened.
Right.
And I'd like some of Paul Drake's coats.
Paul Drake. He
Oh,
says,
yeah.
says, "Hello, beautiful." Now today, that show wouldn't get away with that.
Nope.
I think there's a Netflix, I think it's Netflix is raving about a series, or they're raving about a series on Netflix about a woman chess player, a woman champion chess player. I don't know I forget what it's called. I mean, I can look it up, but apparently that's getting rave reviews.
Netflix? Oh,
Hey, Joan.
There's
whoops.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Chris.
Hey, can you hear me?
Where's Bill? Jones coming in.
I'm having trouble with my video.
Come in, hold on.
There she is.
Hello,
Hey.
John.
Hey.
How you doing, Joan? Hey, Chris. Hey, Bill.
Yeah,
Hey.
right.
Well, it looks like we're finally going to get some weather down here in Florida. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but you poor guys.
It's predicted to hit.
out there.
Well, it was 70 degrees in Boston today.
What's that?
70 degrees in Boston today.
Oh, wow.
And 2 days ago, we had snow.
That's something. It's 70 degrees in New Orleans.
Really?
It's warm outside.
Yeah.
T-shirt weather.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah.
Herb, I don't know if you saw the track of that silly hurricane, but it's going to take another turn. It's going to come up and turn in the bottom of Florida, then it's going to turn again and go out toward you.
Oh my gosh.
We were just talking
I
about
heard
it.
it was
Yeah.
calming down. They didn't know, but
We're thrilled.
It might go into Florida or hit the panhandle. But it looks like it might come straight through.
well, you know what they say.
The Gulf Coast.
One good turn deserves another.
Oh. Herb.
Listen, Tom, I told Tom about our virtual Suncoast Festival, and this was going to be our 30th anniversary year, and big shebang and all that. But and thank God there's Nate Nader, probably is a fella here who is a fabulous guitar player, and he understands the technology about filming and putting it all together. So the 20th through the 22nd, we're going to stream live on Facebook, YouTube, and our website. And when I get all the information, I'll send it on to Tom. But it's a new world.
it's all virtual, like everybody's performing at their house and putting it together.
They're going to have watch parties at the Sheraton, actually.
Yeah, but I mean the performers, is it all remote? Is it all at their house they're playing and it all goes to somebody and they put it all together?
Yeah, and we've asked them to do music, they call it bespoke the festival. It's never been seen before. Probably the favorite band at festival these years is this Adrian Cunningham. He plays clarinet, sax, flute. He's got a great personality, sings a little bit. Well, he filmed his in Barcelona.
Wow.
And it's just a really sweet video. He takes you all around Barcelona and points at some of the sites and picks up musicians along the way. And I have a little cameo role in it.
That's cool.
So it's amazing what you can do when you begin to film things and then, have people that know how to put it together.
So are you guys
Crazy.
making any money out of it for your association?
What was that?
Are you making any money out of it for your association?
Well, do you know, we've had some pretty generous donations. We offered all the musicians pretty modest honorarium of $1,000 to put this together. And we have very little expense this year, of course, because we don't have to fly them in and feed them in hotel rooms and all of that. So if we get more money in, then we can share back more with the musicians. So it's okay. I mean, they won't make what they would make in a regular year, but it's a little bit of something. They're just having, that having a really rough year.
Maybe next year will be back to normal, hopefully.
I think people are talking, it's probably going to be 2022
2022, yeah.
events
Let me
really
get some
going again.
Florida advice. I booked 4 nights in Key West. How does Florida look?
Florida's not too bad. It's crazy because these numbers are going up all the time, and so you get a little bit complacent about things. And I was near somebody who tested positive, so I had to go get tested this week, and it's kind of scary, waiting for these results because there are a lot of false positives too. But I'm okay. I'm
How long does it
negative.
take for the results?
Yeah, I'm negative, and they
Well, how
did
long
the
did it take to
antibody
get the
test,
results?
and that's negative too.
How
But
long did it take to get your results?
a couple days.
Yeah.
They're doing it at no charge at CVS and Walgreens. I just went down the street to a little emergent, one of those 24-hour places, and I didn't have to pay anything. The insurance covers it.
Yeah.
But
I might have something going on. I'm worried that I have banjo on the knee.
but I think you just have to be careful and stay away from crowds of people and keep yourself masked. And I've got this dandy little, it's a face shield.
Over your head.
So,
Oh, wow.
it's you do what you can. Nothing's 100%.
So the people
But we're doing okay in Florida, Herb. You can come to the cafe while you're here.
so the people coming into your cafe, are they all wearing masks?
But we've really been blessed here. We have this little market which was deemed an essential business, and so we were able to stay open the whole time. And we had to have a skeleton crew in the kitchen to take care of the market sales. So when we opened the cafe, we already had some kitchen people in, and we were probably breaking even with the market. Really careful with payroll and that sort of business. So once the cafe opened, now we've got more revenue coming in. Of course, you have to hire a few more people to take care of that, and more people in the kitchen. But these restaurants that are trying to make it at 50% capacity, it's almost impossible. So
Right.
it's just a huge mess. Oh.
Hey, how are the Wawas doing down in your area?
The Wawas?
Yeah.
The Wawas are great. I have a friend who manages one. I can't remember the market he was with in the Midwest, but he managed a supermarket, and then he found this job with Wawa, and he must be really good. I don't know how they do it because the employees there kind of come and go. But he's done well. Wawa has great takeout food. They've got great coffees. Probably pretty good price on gas.
They don't sell lottery tickets, so that there's not all this whole line of being a casino.
They sell a bit of everything. And I think they started in New Jersey, but that was after I was there.
In Wawa, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Jersey and Pennsylvania, I think, were probably the first locations.
Yeah.
But it's my
think they're
favorite place to stop of all those, sort of quick marts or whatever you call them.
Yeah, I'm right in the middle of Wawa country in New Jersey, where I was raised. And when I came down to South Carolina, I mean, it was withdrawal. I mean, we have these kangaroos that don't compare. But when you drive up and down I-95, you hit a Wawa. Like I aimed for the when I came down. And the southernmost one is Petersburg, Virginia, until you get to Florida.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Oh, I mean, the coffee's addictive. I mean, you go around any Wawa at 7 in the morning and every construction worker in the region is at a Wawa getting coffee.
That's true. Good prices. I'm amazed that I'm sure they lose some food from people just grabbing it because everything is out. And the cash register actually is sort of like toward the edge of the stores. And you could pocket a lot of stuff if you were so inclined. But I don't know. Everything's nice and fresh. Gas prices are good. Are you flying to Key West, Herb? Or are you going to drive?
No, I'm going to drive. I'm going halfway down. I found I like these comfort suites. I found a comfort suite in Palm Bay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Just south of Daytona. And so we're going to stop there halfway, I just got back from a quick trip to the Blue Ridge Mountains, and we stayed at Comfort Suites there, and they were very safe. They did the separating and cleaning very well, so I felt safe there.
Yeah, you have to. Well, I went up to see my daughter in Virginia about 2 months ago now, I guess, and I hadn't really thought of it, but all of a sudden you have to stay someplace on the way. We actually stayed in Savannah. It was a Marriott property, not the high-end Marriott, but it was very clean. I told him I didn't want a room that had been occupied the night before, and he actually came back a couple times and found a room that had not been used in 3 or 4 days. But I felt relatively clean in there. I say nothing's 100%, so it's taking your chances. But it was wild for me to see because we are in our own little cocoons, and we all wear masks, and we're all really careful. And you just think it's just right here, and then you get out on the road, everybody's got masks on, and the enormity of the thing really hit home.
Yeah, I love Savannah. Savannah is spectacular.
And I tell you, Subways had the cleanest bathrooms on the road.
Really?
Wow.
Where did you go in the mountains?
What's that?
Where did you go in the Blue Ridge Mountains?
Well, my
my
daughter's in Charlottesville, so we're to the east of that, but it's very mountainous in Charlottesville.
Okay.
But I had a really interesting experience many years ago. We were driving up through the Blue Ridge Mountains, and my maiden name was Adney, A-D-N-E-Y, kind of an odd name. So we're driving along the road, and all of a sudden we come to this big sign, and it says Adney Gap. I went, whoa. And as it turns out, that was my family, I don't know, maybe 300 years ago or something. My father was never quite sure, he said, because they were cleaning out the prisons in England. And so whether these were some people going out of the prisons, I don't know, but they went over and settled in this area. It's around Roanoke. And I guess the locals called Andy Gap instead of Adney Gap, but the sign said Adney, and I just never knew about that before. Pretty neat.
Well, that's neat.
It's stunning countryside. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's it's just the scenery doesn't let up.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
David, is that why you moved up there or what?
That's why I moved here, yeah.
My daughter's in Charlottesville. And that's nice because it's a university town, and there's a lot going on. They've got their politics in town too. Her husband's a Frenchman, and he's a winemaker. When he first came over to this country, he was employed by can't think of the name, Kendall Jackson out in California, and he was charged with making a wine to rival the fine Bordeaux Burgundies. And he had some problems with management out there, so he went back to Virginia and got a job in this Kluge winery. And she knew nothing about making wine. She married into money and thought she'd like to open a winery, I guess. And so he went to work for her, and he ended up, out in the tending the vines and everything else and making the wine. Then Mr. Trump bought the winery. And so that was the end of Charles' job. But
Well,
Mr.
we
Trump
have
doesn't know anything about making wine either.
we have wine down here in the Myrtle Beach area, but it's all this grape called a muscadine grape, which
Yeah.
is
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
it's a wonderful tasting grape, but it's absolute swill for making wine. I mean, we get wineries around here, and they have these musical events. I go to them and drink beer. The wine's
Yeah.
Well, Virginia is famous for wine because the French sent over to Thomas Jefferson a bunch of,
Yes. Yeah.
and then the French had this blight come through like 100 years ago and wipe out everything, and the Virginians sent clippings back. So there's a lot going on.
Oh, okay.
These beautiful rolling hillsides
Yeah.
of vineyards. It's really gorgeous.
What's your weather like, David, up there right now?
Years and years ago, did people drink muscat wine? Was that a dessert wine or something? Do you remember that?
Well,
I'm
Scott,
probably older than most of you, so maybe you don't remember.
Wasn't muscatel like what you drank?
Muscatel, that's right.
Muscatel. Yeah, that's good.
Muscatel in a brown paper bag. These guys.
That's how I met Rick. He was drinking muscatel on the sidewalk, and
You know what's a popular dessert now is this Prosecco, the Italian bubbly Prosecco. That's very popular dessert wine in our area. You know.
that's good stuff.
oh, Prosecco is delicious.
Yeah.
Actually, the Costco Prosecco is pretty good.
Don't put down the Costco wines.
I'm not putting down I love Costco.
Some of their Kirkwood wines are just first rate. I mean, they make a Brunello that's, well, they don't make it, but they import a Brunello that's just terrific for like $25 a bottle. I mean, you know, you go to Italy, it's $50 a bottle. So, I mean, it's good.
See, I thought, did you ever drink Bolt bourbon? Well, I thought I had found this really good little Bolt bourbon company. And then I go into a Costco in California and they're selling it. It had to be like half-gallon bottles of this. I said, oh, I guess they're not a little distillery.
Bolt.
Bolt, B-O-L-T. It's cheap. It's really good.
Yeah. What did we sell at the club? I can't remember what it was.
Old Granddad.
It was Old Granddad, wasn't it?
It
Yeah.
was Old Granddad.
Wasn't Jim Beam, huh? It was Old Granddad.
I
Yeah.
remember
I
Old
remember
Granddad.
once Roger bought a whole bunch of cases of sangria. And then he brought a bunch of fruit, and we were selling that
I remember
spicing
pictures.
it all up. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I remember that. Yeah. They'd chop up all the fruits and put them in there, and it was good. Yeah. Sangria. Yeah.
But when
Yeah.
people come to Mustache, they wanted to drink beer. They didn't want sangria. I remember. I mean,
It was a better seller.
We didn't sell a lot of it.
Yeah. I think it was just a temporary thing.
and Ira.
What's your wine, Chris? Come on, we got a professional chef here. We should get some advice.
I drink it all. I have no, I'm a wine snob of any kind, but when I'm in,
Hey, Ira.
Guys,
Ira,
Ira.
Whatever.
when I'm in Italy, I like to drink the Montepulciano, Sangiovese,
Yeah.
Montepulciano. Those are good wines, just like everyday wines. I buy them from a guy who he's got like a big vats, and you fill up containers, and it's delicious.
Is it San Gimignano or something like that you said?
Sangiovese.
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 Sangiovese, Blood of Jupiter.
isn't that the wine we had at your father's mustache?
Oh.
It was probably Gallo.
Brand X.
I know we used to sell champagne, and it was the cheapest shit out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Sangiovese is that's the wine of Tuscany, and you know, you can get it at any price point, really. And you know, all the Chiantis are all the Sangiovese grape, and the top of the line is this Brunello, from a little town called Montalcino. And I've done 4 pilgrimages to Montalcino, I'll tell you. I mean, that's a
You're
Yeah.
Italian, aren't you, Herb?
I'm sorry?
Aren't you Italian?
No, I was born in England.
Oh, England, but I thought Roselle might have been an Italian name.
No. I speak Italian. My band went over there and played about 6 times. So like a 3-week trip each time. And about the 3rd trip, I said I'm going to learn to speak enough Italian so I can announce my own program. So I got the Pimsleur CDs out and I'm talking my car. So I can actually converse in Italian now. But no Italian background at all. I tell you, I did tell a joke to open up my thing. I said, and I just did this in Italian, but I'll do it in English. So that, what do you call a person who speaks 2 languages? Bilingual, right? What do you call a person who speaks 3 languages?
An American.
Bilingual, yeah. What do you call a person who speaks 1 language?
American.
No, what do you call a person who speaks 1 language? American.
Right.
So I made a little joke on ourselves and everything, and then after that, I could slaughter their language, and they forgave me.
Yeah.
Anybody hear from Joel about a reunion?
Well, he hit me up for finding somebody to do the website, and I asked you guys last week, but nobody. I don't know how to do websites and that kind of stuff.
I don't know
I
how
don't
to
have a
do
clue.
it either.
That's all
I thought we had a website, didn't we?
No, for the reunion, just for the reunion.
Yeah,
Well, why don't we just put it on the regular YFM website?
that's what I thought.
I don't know. I just told him, he asked me, he sent me an email and asked me if I could do it. And I said, no, I don't know how to do that kind of stuff. And then he asked if I'd asked you guys, and I asked last week.
Bill doesn't know how to do it?
He didn't volunteer to do it.
No, wait a minute, Ira. You said, why don't we put it on a regular YFM website? Which website is that?
There's your father's mustache website, isn't there?
Yes.
So there's a Facebook page that Chris maintains.
That's what I mean. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
why don't we just use that?
The
Although,
one
to
that
tell you
Roger,
the
the one that
truth,
Roger does?
No, not the one that Roger does is called Your Father's Mustache Nightclub.
right,
One
there's a
Chris
different one.
is just called Your Father's Mustache.
Right.
Joel wants one that can also handle ticket sales. So he needs to get like a promoter or something. There's not going to be people that know how to make those kind of websites.
Right.
I have no idea.
That's what I told him before he bugged you, Tom.
Yeah, I figured that. I kind of got that idea.
So he
Also,
took
it'd be kind of hard to set a date now, not knowing who's going to fly it.
That's the other thing. I have no idea. But, Joel, you write Joel an email and you might hear back in a month or 2.
A month or 2.
Well, I tell you what, if it's sometime next year and they got some kind of vaccines or something like that, I know of about 15, 20 people and their spouses that'll go there. The ones that
You will.
If you got some kind of protection, some vaccine or something.
the ones
Did a
that show up
vaccine
every
first.
Friday, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They show up
Without that vaccine, I'm not flying.
Nope, not me either.
Have to have vaccine first.
Well,
Well, the Connecticut governor just instituted a 10-person limit on indoor gatherings. So we're heading into tough times, it looks like, right up here.
Yeah, it's happening all over the place.
Yeah.
Again, yeah.
Kind of just.
Not in Florida. Our stupid governor wants 5,000 people to get together. Our guy's an idiot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
well, guess
He
what?
really
I
is.
heard on the radio today, they're coming up with plans for Mardi Gras in what,
I read something about that. I thought it was canceled.
3 or 4 months. They're coming-
February the 16th, isn't it? I think February the 16th, something like that.
Yeah, look, let me tell you what, they're looking at all that money and revenue, and they can figure out a way to do that.
Then they would have to open up all the bars on Bourbon Street, right?
I guess so.
The mayor said something about everyone wearing a mask and maintaining social distance on the parade routes or something like that.
Yeah, that'll work.
I mean, and cut down the drinking some. Sure.
Just like at the rallies.
Well, right now, musicians can play in New Orleans, but you can't play a horn, you can't sing.
Really?
Really?
That's it. No singing and no horn playing.
Poor Danny.
So what's Danny doing? Yeah, piano.
Well, the deal is, most of the stuff down there is trios now: banjo
Yeah.
or guitar, bass or tuba, and a horn. So if you cut out the horn, and the tuba, and with trio, you really have to sing, So
Are you playing anywhere, Barry, or doing anything? Or
I've done 3 gigs in the last 6 months, and all the guys that I work with, all the jazz music, nobody's working.
All right.
No one.
There's nowhere to work, is there, Barry? Where
Well,
would they work? It's got to be a private gig.
That's the same it is up here. I've just had another gig canceled. I've done 2 in the last 6 months.
Yeah,
Jesus,
That's it.
it's a shame. There's no work.
It's brutal. I hate
Yes,
to practice. I hate to practice. I mean, it's just murder.
Like we said a couple of weeks ago, practicing ain't the same as being
Oh, no, not the
in the
same.
trenches.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I
the
guess
same.
Fritzl's is still shut down, huh, Barry?
Shut down. They did a couple of Saturday nights where they put the band. I didn't play it. Some other guys played it. You know how we rotate around there, musicians. And they played out in the courtyard, in the back courtyard, and that was allowed because it was outside.
Was
They
it
have a
crowded?
courtyard. Yeah, they had 20, 30 people show up, so nobody made any money. The club didn't make money. The musicians didn't make money. Nobody made money. But at least they had some music.
But they're not going to do it anymore, are they?
I don't know.
Hmm.
You can't make money in a jazz club with 25 people sitting out there listening.
Yeah, that's for sure.
No, but it's a very defensive move because you're going to keep the spirit alive and the interest up. Because if you don't do it, it's going to die.
I'm with you on that.
Exactly.
Yeah, if they would have called me up and said, "Hey, you want to do it?" I would have said yes.
Sure, absolutely.
Well, what is Danny doing? He was doing something at the Superdome.
Yeah, that was a private gig at the
Private
Superdome.
gig?
But he also played a night on Bourbon Street, the club down the block from where I play, for Fritzl's, the Mason Bourbon. You don't know where
Oh
it's
yeah.
They opened for Friday and Saturday night. He said it was weird because they had plexiglass all around him on a bandstand, and he said that the club said they had a special permit to allow music and horns and stuff. But Danny thinks that they were bullshitting him. That isn't really true. They just said, "Hey, we got an okay from the mayor." Yeah,
He played the tuba or the piano.
I don't know.
He does both,
Yeah, one or the other.
I thought he played the piano there.
He does.
Well, he plays both there.
Oh, he does. Okay, I thought just the
Not
piano.
at the same time,
Wow.
But
I
yeah.
played some jobs at the Showboat where they had plexiglass in front of the horns and around the drums and everything. It is the most artificial, awkward environment you ever want to play in. I mean, you got a wall of plant. I mean, you can see, it's clear, but still, like and then you have a sound tech who's mixing the sound perfectly. I guess for the audience, but sure wasn't going to the monitors perfectly. You're getting your acoustic sound bouncing back at you. I mean, it was just a miserable environment to play in.
There was a drummer who used to play for the Boston Symphony. His name was Freddie Buddha. He was loud as a son of a gun. And what they did is they put a big plastic band all the way around him to muffle the sound because he drummed Boston Symphony.
Huh. Right on.
Yeah.
In the recording studios down here, they put that plexiglass around everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I
I've
don't
done
like it. Back in the old days, Jim, some of y'all might remember, the guys would set up just like you did on a bandstand and play into a few mics to each other. Those came out better when they started isolating everybody.
Yeah, it's difficult when you're separated from everybody else, but you know that's been my experience in the studios. You always separate everybody, and then you link up with the earphones so you can hear what's going
Right.
on.
That's how we do it now, and I hate it. I hate it.
Oh yeah.
You don't realize how much the visual cues create the ensemble. I mean,
Oh yes.
until it's taken away from you. But
That's
we,
a-
And the
when we play,
excitement.
we look
That's
at
a-
each other, we watch each other moving and that kind of thing. We get the time from each other.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
When it's
Very
taken
good
away, it's tough.
Good point.
Absolutely. Yeah, the way they record now, isolating, I hate it. I hate it.
Hope something happens soon. It's getting tiring now.
Yep, it's been tiring.
Yeah.
A lot of guys who do the jingles, you're talking about isolating. The drummer would be in a room all by himself, totally isolated, and then there'd be 4 or 5 little cubbies, and musicians would crawl into their cubbies, and it's so artificial, but they needed to do it for the sound.
That's how it is now, Bill, and all of them.
That's right.
That's the way it is.
Okay, well, it's time to say it then. Lake compounds. Okay, just want to get that out of the way.
Yeah,
Glad you got that in, Herb.
Hey, you know what? But the next time Jeff is in here, we got to do that. Like someone will say, well, it's time to say it now. We'll all say lake compounds.
Come on, what's
He would
that?
like that.
Got that memorized?
Yeah, what's the name of that place that had a wooden roller coaster?
Right.
But I mean, that's what we're gonna do next time Jeff said everything. Somebody will say, well, it's time to say it. We'll all say lake compounds. And,
I was only there twice, but it was good fun. It was a nice place. The
yeah.
ballroom was wonderful. The ballroom was just superb. It was great.
I couldn't make last week's call because of the hurricane, but
Same
yesterday
here.
recording of this. So it's fresh in my mind about the lake compounds. But I said, there goes Jeff with lake compounds.
Hey, Barry, how did Danny's boat hold up?
The sail on it got damaged.
Oh,
A couple of $1,000 worth of damage, but he's got insurance.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Joan just sent a note that she lost power.
Oh,
She's down for the day.
sound like what happened to me in New Orleans last week. I lost power.
has that
How long
hurricane?
did you lose it for?
About 2.5, 3 days.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sucks.
That's normal.
I'm surprised, Barry, because I'm so close to you that I didn't
Is
lose.
that hurricane going up the Florida coast now? I
That's
haven't
what it
checked on
looks
it.
like.
It looks like it.
I think we're just gonna have a lot of rain.
If Joan loses her power, did she lose it because of the hurricane or for some other reason, you suppose?
No, it's not that
I
close yet.
think it came back, but she had to finish up work because it screwed up all her computers.
Oh, my.
Just sent a
Byron,
note.
that storm's going right near you now, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think what we're gonna get is heavy rain.
I
I
mean,
don't think we're gonna have,
it was a Cat 4 2 days ago.
Yeah, right.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna have a problem. I have a generator if we do.
Well, they have it coming toward you and then coming back over here toward us. Rick and
So
I.
you'll get what's left over from us.
yeah, you know what? Let's be honest. Didn't we lose power about 2011?
Yes, we did.
Hurricane Sandy?
Not Sandy, just us in general.
Right.
Good one.
That's about when I lost it, Herb.
So what was the final story, the end story about what happened at Carnegie with the union wanting us off the stage? Was that all true or was that bullshit?
I never heard that before.
I never heard it. The union, what, Barry?
Said that we were up there on the bandstand, and
Right.
the union representatives from Carnegie sent a message to Joel, said, you got 20 minutes to get off the stage. If not, we got to pay all of our workers time and a half and it'll cost extra $1,000 more. Anybody ever heard that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I something mentioned, yeah.
Yep. That's why Joe Cicala was chasing us.
That wasn't the musicians union.
Cicala
That
came
was-
off
that was
on the
union of
stage and
the
chased
Carnegie
us all off.
employees.
Yeah.
People that work Carnegie.
They do have a very tough union. I remember dealing with them, and they were just absolutely brutal in their negotiations. They're just brutal. And
At least
those,
they give you 20
you
minutes
would, very,
notice.
you would be very surprised to know how much those guys who manage, the stage operations at Carnegie make for a living. I mean, it's absolutely extraordinary. And they have a stranglehold on the operation. And so I can very well understand why the management would say, please get off the stage by whatever time it was, 11 o'clock or whatever it was.
Right.
Because if we go into overtime, it's going to cost me $10,000 for these guys to stay around, that kind of thing.
Because remember, we cut out 2 or 3 medleys before we went to the closing medley. And I remember that Ruth and them were up there a while. And that Herb, you were part of that. We're up there a while. But we need to cut out 2 or 3 medleys because we had to get off stage.
Yeah, well, we were on long enough.
Nobody knew that before it started?
No, let's take a positive view here. We were on long enough. We gave them a great show, and time to get off.
I thought it was great. Yeah.
It was a great show. I was really pleased. In fact, I watched the. You remember the link I sent you guys with all of with the whole show on it?
Yeah.
CD, basically. I watched it again, and I said we did a fine job. I was really pleased with the whole thing.
It was terrific. It was a great night. It really was.
It was Ruth Cruz's birthday yesterday.
Oh,
Was it really?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. I missed it.
What club did Ruth work in?
She worked in New York. She worked in New York for a while, and
she worked in Red Garter.
Yeah.
And Rosie O'Grady's, but not the mustache, or she did.
Well, I think she was one of the folks that Joel went out and found, and then he brought those people. I mean, like the English guys, like Les Bennett and Les Muscat, etc. And they would bring them to New York, and they would stay a week or 2 or a month or whatever, and learn the routine, and then go off somewhere else. So, but Ruth was one of those, and I recall very well working with her for several weeks, and then I forget where she went.
Well, Herb, you backed her up for years, huh?
Oh, I worked with her for years in Wildwood, and she was terrific. I mean, you're talking about like a redneck Irish bar and everything like that, and she did every show completely.
A redneck Irish bar? Holy mackerel!
This was like it wasn't St. Patrick's Day. It was St. Patrick's Summer.
Yeah, why not?
This place. I mean, like in New York, a lot of the things that we did in New York were kind of like camp. Like they were, like you were kind of making fun of yourself. You weren't taking it completely seriously. You were doing like a send up of what we were doing. Well, it was serious. I mean, the audience. The audience believed.
Wherever you go, you got to tailor the routine to the audience. Absolutely, the New York audience is different from the New Orleans audience for sure. Yeah. On the other hand, there's a lot of very common stuff that works anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I took over the New York band, I had to learn a lot of show tunes.
Oh yeah, it's big there.
Yeah, there was a lot of show tunes.
Yeah, I had to learn that. That's the stuff we didn't do in New Orleans. I mean, we did Oklahoma and maybe My Fair Lady, and that's it. But some of those other songs I never played on a banjo, Camelot and stuff like that.
Camelot.
Oh yeah.
One time, John Murata booked us as the band to open up in all of these movie theaters where Thoroughly Modern Millie was playing.
You remember that one? That was good. That was fun. That was great.
Yeah.
Debbie Reynolds and all that. Sure, that was good.
So we had to play in the lobby as people were coming in, because in those days, you went to the movies like they went to the theater. It was Thoroughly Modern Millie. Great song.
The first time I ever played with Joel, I got sent out to Chicago to play a thing at Notre Dame or somewhere else, and they kept me out to Chicago to play. And Joel came out, and with his 2-hour sets and everything like that. And fast. I mean, I had just kind of more or less started, but I had a really lucky break in the high school band. When my high school, they had this yellow college band book that had all the college fight songs in it.
Oh, yeah.
All our high school fight songs, like Western and We're Loyal to You, Illinois. And all these Big Ten songs were there. So I got to Chicago, and Joel starts calling these Big Ten fight songs. I knew them all, and it blew him away. Walk up and say, Christ, that Roselle knows all these tunes and everything. And it was just that dumb luck of having gone through the book that Joel was convinced that I was a music machine. Turned out not to be the case when I ran into Ronnie Beisel, but that was my first thing with Joel.
He did the same thing to me. We called all those goddamn Big Ten fight songs, and that's how I learned "Hats Off to You, Illinois," and and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Indiana, da 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 da. Oh, good Lord.
Well, we always played the SEC teams down in New Orleans. And then when Mike Gentry came down, he brought in all the Big Ten songs. I remember sitting down with him in the back dressing room. Said, Mike, let's try to integrate all the songs. So we come up with a whole new, not new, but a different medley of both Big Ten and SEC. That's the only way we could do it.
Yeah.
I remember in Florida for the University of Miami, we played Hava Nagila.
Yeah.
I recall the time I played at Mardi Gras, and the LSU crowd came in and they wanted the song, and I had no idea what it was, and he just said, "It's Tiger Rag, just do that."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tiger Rag.
I said, "Okay,
Yeah.
I can handle that."
Do you know when you go in New Orleans, there's who's the guy who was with the original Dixieland jazz band, the La Rocca? If you can go to La Rocca's house, and they have those 4 notes of Tiger Rag are on his doorway.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
it's down it's in near the Garden District, and you can look up and on the doorway there's a screen door, and there's the pattern of a Roll That Tiger. Is the 4 notes are written on there on his door.
That's funny.
His son is still playing in town.
What's that?
His son is still playing. I work
Really?
with him a lot. Yeah, his name is Jimmy LaRocca. He's a trumpet player. Now he's 80 years old himself now,
Sure.
but he's still playing and still sounds really good. I mean, and he has a band called the Original Dixieland Jazz Band.
Big surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you read where Franklin Pierce's grandson just passed away?
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah. Well, Franklin Pierce was
New
president
Hampshire.
in 1840. His grandson just passed away. It's 2020, by the way.
His grandson.
Yeah, his grandson.
That's interesting.
Isn't that amazing? And apparently the one grandson is still alive.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How
It's
old
just,
is
he
99, huh?
when he was very old, he married a young woman who had the kids, and then the 2 sons married all this kind of thing. So you got like within generations, he was born like this Franklin Pierce was born like in 1790. When you have his grandson alive in 2020, but it's just this amazing little history. I thought it was kind of cool, that kind of stuff.
That is amazing. But when you start talking about presidents, Franklin Pierce is not a name that comes to mind. Oh, by the way, speaking of fatalities, I got a note from Carl Linsford the other day that Jack Dupin has died. If anybody remembers Jack.
Yeah.
Where is Carl now?
Carl is living the life. Carl lives on a houseboat in Sausalito. He has for years.
That's right. I got to say, 20 plus years ago, I was traveling through San Francisco. I saw this marquee, a theater marquee, and damn it all, the Well, Carl Lunsford's name was right across the top of it.
Yeah,
And I
he's
tried
been
to
very,
find him. I drove down the bottom of the last hill in San Francisco, tried to find his boat, but I couldn't find it.
yeah, he's finally found a wife that he can live with or who will tolerate him.
Really? Oh, really? Yeah, I
Oh, yeah.
understand that part. Yeah.
He went through two at least that I know of personally, but and then he moved back to San Francisco, and he was active there. I saw him. We talk about once or maybe twice a year just to see what's happening. But I saw him. I guess it was 3 or 4 years ago now. I played a date with a Jim Cullen jazz band out at a club in San Francisco, and he came in. It was really kind of neat.
Oh, so he's still young.
Yeah, so he was.
At the '87 reunion up in Connecticut.
Yeah, I missed that one because we were living in France at the time, so I missed that one.
By the way, Chris, you gonna put that? You said you had that video of the '87 reunion when Joel did the presentation.
I have to find it. It's on a computer that I don't have access to because I'm not going into work anymore in my office. So I got to see when I can go in there and dub that off and then get it up, onto social media. I'll put it on the whatchamacallit, YouTube.
A lot of us weren't there
No.
at that '87 reunion, and Joel did a wonderful slideshow on a history of the mustache. You remember that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the whole thing with him up on that boat, and all of a sudden the curtain opens and
Right. I know Ira was there. Chris was there. You were there, Gim, weren't you?
No, I was. We were in France then.
Okay.
That was a great reunion.
That was the best reunion. It really was.
Yeah.
Well, we were all young then.
That's right.
Yeah.
Younger.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, got to go. See y'all next week.
Okay,
All
Rick.
right, Rick.
Yeah.
Where's Bill today, Tom?
He's got a job. He actually had a job, so he
That's
could.
good.
A job. God bless him. He's got a job. Oh Lord, that's wonderful.
Next
Take
week.
care, Rick.
All right, Rick.
Next week, Rick.
All right, Rick.
Yep, next week.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Bill.
Take care.
That
How
reminds-
The 87
long
reunion
ago you worked with
in Carnegie.
how
That
long?
reminds me of a tuba joke.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Up for a tuba joke. So anyway, the kid was a freshman year in high school, and he's kind of shy and nervous. And Dad said, "He's trying to join a club or something." So the next day he comes back and he said, "Hey, I ran to the high school band director. He gave me a tuba. They asked me if I wanted to play tuba." Dad said, "That's great. That's terrific." So the next day he picks up the son at high school and said, "Well, I learned B flat. I got B flat down and everything. I got a B flat. Great, terrific." Next day he picks him up again. He says, "Hey, he told me how to play C. I got B flat. C. That's terrific." And he said, the third day he picks him up. He's not there. He's not there. He picks up. He said, "Well, maybe he ran into a friend and doesn't come home for dinner." Finally, they're worried. They're calling their relatives. They're calling friends over, and finally the kid breezes in at 10 o'clock. And the father says, "Where were you?" He says, "I had a gig."
Terrible.
Pretty good.
We've all played with tuba players like that.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Sleep with the Deep was one of my favorites.
All right, well,
You got any new pictures, Tom?
what?
You got any new pictures?
Nobody sent anything.
He
I
said
sent you one.
nude pictures.
New.
Good pictures.
Nude.
I sent you one of Olswang, didn't I?
No, Ira, I mean, somebody stole your email because I got an email from you.
I know. It was
after,
hacked.
for the gift cards. Did you get those gift cards I sent you?
I got one of those too.
Yeah, my email was finally hacked after all these years.
I can't imagine that anybody actually falls for that. But I guess some people must.
Well, I'm waiting for money.
Yeah. Well, don't wait too long.
Yeah.
Look,
Tom,
I'm
I
gonna-
did send you a picture. Did you get it?
I swear I didn't get it. First I-
Really? Okay, I'll find it and send it to you again.
okay. Yeah, nobody else sent anything either, so.
Next week I'll be about 15 minutes late, but I'll see you. All right?
Yeah, all right, bye
Okay.
there.
Yeah, I'm heading out
I'm
too.
gonna check
Guys,
out too, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll see you all next week.
Hey,
see
Barry.
you next week.
Bye-bye.
Be well.
Ciao.